Hello friends, welcome to Affairs Cloud Learn to Lead. This is Ashu and today we will discuss very important current affairs of 19th of March 2021. You can see two best images of the day, but today we will discuss 17 to 18 very important and the most important current affair. So watch video till last, but I am requesting you all the students that you have to like this video. You have to share as maximum as possible because we need your support, and if you are new on this platform, please subscribe this channel. And guys, you can download our application that named as Careers Cloud. Remember, the application name is not the Affairs Cloud, application name is Careers Cloud. And you can download with very easy method, like you can go to the description box. We put a link in the description box, and by clicking on that link, you can download this application. After downloading, when you are opening this application, then this screen will appear. You can log in with your Gmail ID, it means Google ID. Then after that, this screen will appear, and on clicking on this crack current affairs, you can get our current affairs subscription. What we are providing under this subscription, we are providing daily current affairs. In the daily current affairs section, you will get the three sections. Like first is the detailed current affairs will be provided to you in the PDF format. This is very important because it is in the detailed manner. Next, question and answer format of this detailed manner will be provided to you so that you can revise questions and answer format current affairs. Next, quiz section is there so that you can test your knowledge that how much current affair you can retain for long time period. Next, same as the weekly section, every week is divided under the three sections like detailed current affair of particular week, question and answer format of the current affairs of particular week. This will be provided in the PDF format. And next is the current affair quiz. It means again you can test your knowledge or the current affairs on the weekly basis so that how much current affair you can retain for long time period. And the most important section here is the monthly PDF, because in the monthly PDF section we are providing so many PDFs according to your convenience. Like first, we are providing the detailed current affair of particular month in the PDF format. Next, these detailed current affair will be provided to you in the format of question and answer so that you can revise current affairs again and again. Next, top 100 current affairs, best 100 current affairs will be provided to you. That is also in the PDF format so that you can revise best current affairs. Next is the pocket PDF, and it is very important to revise the current affair before your exam in quick format. It means in theoretical format, you can revise these current affairs quickly. So it is for before your exam. So all these current affairs like daily, weekly and monthly will be provided to you in English as well as in Hindi. But we are also providing the special current affairs. Special current affair means like banking awareness current affairs. It means this is very important for the banking aspirants. Like we are providing two type of the sections. Like first is the PDF format of the banking awareness current affair. Next is the quiz format so that you can test your knowledge in the banking section. Next is the exam PDF. It means all type of the exams covered under this PDF, and it is according to the 2021 subscription, like January and February current affairs are covered under this section, and it is also provided in the PDF format. Next, we are also providing some type of the special current affairs like budget, economic survey and other data which is released on the annual basis by the Government of India. Next, we are also providing the topic wise PDF. This is very important section to revise the current affair very quickly. Like we are combining apps and web portals 2021. We are also providing important days 2021, books and authors of 2021. So we are compiling month by month, and there are 20 type of the topics which we are providing to you in the PDF format. We are also providing state current affairs like state and UT's current affair. Like you can see here the West Bengal. It means these current affairs are provided in English as well as in Hindi. So it means you will get the daily, weekly and monthly current affairs as well as the special current affair like for the banking exam, any type of the exam, topic wise PDF, and also the state current affair. So this subscription you can buy through our application that named as Careers Cloud, and the subscription price is very much low. By clicking on the subscription area, you will get the 1 year subscription as well as 2 year subscription. It means for 2021 and for 2022 as well. So both the prices are very much low, but if you want to purchase 2020 subscription, then you can visit our website. 2020 subscription is available as the 6 monthly subscription or the 1 year full subscription, and the price of this subscription is again very much low. But if you want to subscribe 2020, then you have to visit our website, that is affairscloud.com/current affair. So the price is already low, but you can also get the 10% extra discount if you use this code ASH10. Then you will definitely get 10% 10% extra discount. So let's start today's current affair, that is the 29th March of 2021, and here is the first section, that is the most important question section. But I am again requesting you all the students that you have to like this video, share this video as maximum as possible, and you have to subscribe this channel if you are new on this platform. So let's start with first question. Who became the first Indian and second international women cricketer to score 10,000 international runs? So mark this question under the most important section, because we are talking about the first Indian woman cricketer who scored 10,000 international runs, and answer of this question is Mithali Raj. So guys, remember, Mithali Raj became the first Indian woman cricketer and second international woman cricketer who scored 10,000 international runs, and first international woman cricketer was Charlotte Edwards. So remember, Charlotte, Charlotte Edwards, and she belongs to which country? She belongs to England. So guys, remember, the first woman cricketer all over world to score 10,000 runs is Charlotte Edwards from England. But if the examiner is talking about the Indian, then answer should be Mithali Raj, and she achieved this target or the record during the third international ODI between the India and the South Africa women team, which took place on the 12th of March 2021 at Bharat Ratna Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee Cricket Stadium in Lucknow. So you have to remember three things that are very important under this question. But before that, you can see the picture. Mithali Raj became the first Indian woman cricketer to score 10,000 international runs. You can also see here one most important thing which we are talking about. She became the first woman cricketer to complete 7,000 runs all over world level. So remember, she became the first woman cricketer to complete 7,000 runs in women ODI cricket. But she got little bit late to achieve the 10,000 run, but she became the first woman. Now you can also remember she reached this milestone in her 213th match. So examiner can ask the match number. So she achieved this target in the 213th match, and this is the match between the India and South Africa. You can remember, against South Africa she achieved this target, and the stadium is Atal Bihari Vajpayee Stadium in Lucknow. So these three things you have to remember under this question, and this is very important. And guys, remember about BCCI. You know, BCCI president is Sourav Ganguly, and where is the head office of BCCI? It is in the Wankhede Stadium of Mumbai. Moving to next question. Recently, which country joined the International Solar Alliance, also known as the International Agency for Solar Policy and the Application? So the most important thing under this question is the organization, that is International Solar Alliance. This International Solar Alliance basically launched in 2015 by the United Nations Climate Change Conference, or you can say the discussed in COP21, that is also known as the Paris Agreement, which is very important, which took place in 2015, and it was launched by Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and then French President Francois Hollande. So remember, this International Solar Alliance was the idea of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the French President Francois Hollande, and it was started in COP21, and which is also known as the Paris Agreement, and it is an alliance for over 121 countries. So it means so many countries are now becoming the member of International Solar Alliance. And recently, which country joined? Italy recently joined this International Solar Alliance. And guys, remember, recently, like in January 2021, International Solar Alliance amended the agreement that is known as a ISA Framework Agreement. According to this agreement, the membership of ISA, International Solar Alliance, is open to all the member states of the United Nations. Earlier, it was open to countries that were partially or the entirely located within the tropics, because maximum sunlight is consumed by the tropical areas. So that's why it was only open to the countries that are partially or the entirely located within the tropics. But now its membership is open to all the United Nations states. So you can see here, International Solar Alliance under the amended International Solar Alliance Framework Agreement. So remember this International Solar Alliance Framework Agreement. So this framework was passed in January 2021, and according to this framework, ISA membership is open to all the member states of the United Nations. And guys, remember, earlier it was open only to the tropical area countries. And recently, India and France were re-elected as the president and the co-president of International Solar Alliance for the time period of 2 years. You can also remember this. You can also remember, that is again most important thing we covered under the most important section in the recent days, that who was recently appointed as the Director General of International Solar Alliance. Answer is Ajay Mathur. And remember, the headquarters is in Gurugram, Haryana, India. Remember the headquarter is very important. And guys, remember about Italy. Current president of G20 goes with the Italy. So remember this, G20 president in 2021 is Italy. And guys, remember, recently we covered this question that Italy new prime minister is Mario Draghi. So remember, I am writing his name, Mario Draghi. Draghi. This is the name of the new prime minister of Italy. And guys, remember about the Italy like currency and the capital. Italy capital is Rome and the currency is euro. So we are moving to the next question now. Who has been appointed as the chairman of the Stop TB Partnership Board? So the most important thing under this question is this partnership board, that is known as Stop TB Partnership Board. This Stop TB initiative was established by the first session under the ad hoc committee on the tuberculosis epidemic held in March 1998 in London. But this is not the important thing. You have to just remember this board was established in year of 2001 because in year 2000 World Health Assembly of the World Health Organization endorsed the establishment of global partnership to stop tuberculosis and set the targets to eradicate the tuberculosis. So in 2001, the Stop TB Partnership Board was established and first Stop TB Partners Forum meeting was held in Washington DC in 2001. And currently, who became the chairman of the Stop TB Partnership Board? That is our Union Minister of Health and Family Welfare, Harshvardhan. Dr. Harshvardhan, and you can see the smiling face of Dr. Harshvardhan, Union Minister of Health and Family Welfare, appointed as the chairman of Stop TB Partnership Board. You can also see here, he was appointed for the time period of 3 years, and this time period is starting from the month of the July 2021. And the appointment is an recognition of his contribution to the movement to eradicate tuberculosis from India by 2025. It is the Indian government target that we have to eradicate the tuberculosis by the year of 2025, and this is most important thing you have to remember. And guys, we already covered this thing that Stop TB Partnership was founded in 2001 and its first meeting was also held in 2001 at Washington DC, United States of America. And recently you can also recall the news about the tuberculosis that in 2019 and 20 Dr. Harshvardhan launched one campaign, that is TB Harega Desh Jeetega. It means we have to win over the tuberculosis. And guys, also remember, the government of India launched the Nikshay Poshan Yojana, a direct benefit transfer scheme to provide nutritional support to the TB patients. So guys, remember this Yojana, NPY. This is known as the Nikshay Poshan Yojana, but it was launched in 2018. So it is not so much important, but you can remember this is only for the TB patients and to provide the nutritional support to the tuberculosis patient. And where is the headquarter of this organization? That is the Stop TB Partnership Board. Its headquarters is in Geneva, Switzerland, not the Washington DC. Its headquarters is in Geneva, Geneva, Switzerland. Now we are moving to next question. Neo Growth appointed which person as its brand ambassador? So first of all, the most important thing is the name of the company, that is the Neo Growth. And Neo Growth Credit Private Limited is a loan-based company. It means this ambassador will talk about the ease of procuring loans through the Neo Growth for small businesses, which will be released in the first week of the April. It means this ambassador will talk about the ease of procuring loans from this organization that is known as the Neo Growth Credit Private Limited. And answer of this question is, guys, Ajinkya Rahane. So remember about Ajinkya Rahane, and he became the ambassador of the Neo Growth Credit Limited. But guys, you can also recall the other options, like you can see here the Akshay Kumar, brand ambassador of the very important 3 companies in 2021. You can remember these news, like Akshay Kumar, brand ambassador of the Pager Book. Remember Pager Book. It is a staff management solution provider, Pager Book. And next, he is also the brand ambassador of Car Dekho Gadi.com. That is also important, Gadi.com. And third is the Dabur Chyawanprash. So remember 3 endorsement which will be done by the Akshay Kumar. One is the Pager Book, second is the Gadi.com, or third is the Dabur Chyawanprash. Next is Rohit Sharma. Rohit Sharma is the brand ambassador of healthcare company Dr. Trust. Dr. Trust. Next is Samriti Mandhana. That is very important if you are preparing for the banking exam, because she became the brand ambassador of one small finance bank, and this small finance bank name is Equitas Small Finance Bank. So I'm repeating again. Akshay Kumar is brand ambassador of the Pager Book, Gadi.com and the Dabur Chyawanprash. Ajinkya Rahane is the brand ambassador of Neo Growth. Rohit Sharma is Dr. Trust brand ambassador, and Samriti Mandhana, she is the brand ambassador of Equitas Small Finance Bank. And again, this is very important. So you can see the picture of Ajinkya Rahane and the tag of Neo Growth with the POS machine, and Neo Growth appoints Ajinkya Rahane as the brand ambassador. Now we are moving to the next question. What is the name of India's first elevated urban expressway which will be completed by the year of 2022? So the most important thing under this question, it is the first elevated urban expressway, and the name of this expressway is the Dwarka Expressway, because it is connecting two places like Dwarka and Delhi, Dwarka in Delhi, to Gurugram in Haryana. It means it is connecting two areas. One is the Delhi, second is the Haryana. And maximum length falls in the Haryana. Remember, Haryana covers almost 19 kilometer, and this covers almost 10 kilometer. It means total length is 29 kilometer. So remember, Haryana covers almost 19 kilometer of this expressway, that is Dwarka Expressway, and 10 kilometer covered by the Delhi area. So you can see here, it will be expected to complete before 2022 Independence Day, 15th August. And guys, remember 15th August 2022 is very important because it is the 75th Independence Day of India. And the total length of this expressway is 29 kilometer, under which 18.9 kilometer, it means approximately 19 kilometer, falls in Haryana, and remaining 10.1, it means 10 kilometer in Delhi. So it means it is connecting Delhi and Haryana. So it connects Dwarka in Delhi and Gurugram in Haryana, and it is constructed under the Bhartmala project. So guys, remember, Bhartmala project is the very important project of the central government, because it is fully central sponsored and funded road and highways project of the government of India. And this program will submerge all the existing highways project, including the flagship national highway development projects launched by the Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji in 1998. So guys, remember about the Bhartmala project. It will submerge all the existing highway project, including all the national highway development projects, and it was launched the way back by the Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji in 1998. So guys, remember these things about the Dwarka Expressway. It is the most important things about this Dwarka Expressway. Now we are moving to the very important question, and here is our first question. Which Indian company and Israeli firm, which is known as the Finergy, formed the joint venture for manufacturing and sale of aluminium air batteries for the Indian market? So by the news, you can recall that it is just to promote the electric vehicle production in India, and it is also to replace the lithium ion batteries with the aluminium air batteries. So these two things can be achieved by these two companies, and one is the Indian company, second is the Israeli firm, and Israeli company or the Israel company is the Finergy, and name of Indian company is Indian Oil Corporation Limited. So you can see here, Indian Oil Corporation Limited and Israel's battery developer Finergy joint venture to manufacture ultra lightweight metal air batteries for the electric vehicles. So you can also see here an equal joint venture called IOC Finergy Private Limited. It means it is a combination of two companies. One is IOCL, second is the Finergy, and joint venture is known as IOC Finergy Private Limited. So under this joint venture, both the entities will undertake research and development, assembly, manufacturing and sale of aluminium air batteries for the Indian market. So you can say that they will develop these batteries so that manufacturing and sale of these batteries can be increased in the Indian market. It means this partnership will help India in realizing the Atmanirbhar for the energy requirements. Guys, remember the objective to manufacture ultra lightweight metal air batteries of electric vehicles using aluminum air batteries technology to boost the e-mobility, and it will also decarbonize Indian environment. So guys, remember, it will help in the decarbonization of mobility, and we have to become the carbon neutral by the year of 2050. So it will be the main push towards this target. So the joint venture also aims to develop fuel cells and indigenous hydrogen storage solution for promoting green mobility. So guys, remember, the main focus is on the electric vehicles. Even you can also recall that Maruti Suzuki and Ashok Leyland signed a letter of intent for the new joint venture like IOC Finergy Private Limited for sport and commercialization of its aluminum air technology battery. It means Maruti Suzuki and Ashok Leyland will also purchase these batteries from this joint venture. So the joint venture is main aim to replace lithium with the aluminum to make batteries that will charge faster and give a longer run. So it will help in the decarbonization of the mobility. You can say that it will also help in the faster adoption of the e-vehicles in India, because we have to replace all the vehicles with the electric vehicles by the year of 2030, and it will also help in addressing the challenges faced by the customers of the e-vehicles, such as infrastructure, higher cost of the purchase, or the safety issues. So guys, you have to remember this. And the organization which is important, that is Indian Oil Corporation. Who is the chairman of Indian Oil Corporation? Shrikant Madhav Vaidya. Remember Shrikant Madhav Vaidya. Headquarter of Indian Oil Corporation is New Delhi. Don't remember of Finergy. Just remember Finergy is a Israel-based company. Now we are moving to next question. Which organization has raised $307 million from the first Panda board issue in over a decade? So it means within 10 years, this organization raised $307 million from the Panda bonds. So most important thing under this question is this Panda bond. What is this Panda bond? So guys, remember Panda bond is a Chinese currency denominated bond like renminbi, or you can say the Panda bond is a Chinese currency denominated bond from a non-Chinese issuer sold in China. It means this is issued by one non-Chinese company or the organization in the Chinese currency, and it will be sold in China from the last 10 years. It means it was sold in China from the last 10 years, and this organization raised $307 million from these Panda bonds by issuing these Panda bonds. And answer of this question is Asian Development Bank. It means Asian Development Bank issued these Panda bonds, and people of China purchase this Panda bond, and money goes to Asian Development Bank, and Asian Development Bank raised this $307 million from these Panda bonds. So you can see here, this is the Asian Development Bank raises $307 million from the first Panda bond issue. And guys, you have to remember these Panda bonds are issued in year of 2005, and first organization is the Asian Development Bank who issued these type of the bonds, and it will be mature after the 5 years. It means the money can be redeemed after the year of 2026, March 2026. You can also see here ADB is the largest ever borrowing in the Asian local currency, and the currency is the Chinese currency. Objective: it will support Asian Development Bank for the development project in China during its last 5-year country partnership strategy, because the maturity time period is the 5 year. So it means for 5 years they can use this money in the developmental projects. And I already told you about the Panda bonds, and Panda bond is a Chinese currency denominated bond from a non-Chinese issuer sold in the China. And what is the local Chinese currency is the renminbi. Remember this. And guys, remember one thing about the Asian Development Bank, that this organization was established. This organization was established in 1966. How many countries are member? 68 countries are member. Where is the headquarter? Headquarter is in Manila, Philippines. And most important, who is the president? President is Mast Sugu. So remember this thing. And recently Asian Development Bank approved 300 million, it means 2200 crore loan for strengthening and comprehensive primary health in the urban areas program in India. It means to strengthen the health in India. Asian Development Bank approved such loan, that is 2200 crore loans. And remember all the things about Asian Development Bank and the Panda bond. Now we are moving to next question. Who announced $41 million for financing renewable energy solution in India? So it is very important to shift from the local based energy sources to the renewable energy sources, because we have to achieve 175 gigawatt of the renewable and the new renewable energy sources by the year of 2022, and 450 gigawatt of the energy by the year of 2030 from the new and renewable energy resources. And guys, you can also bifurcate this 175 gigawatt of renewable energy target. This 175 gigawatt can be divided like 100 gigawatt from the solar energy and 60 gigawatt from the wind energy. This is the major, like 160 gigawatt from the 175 gigawatt is should be from the solar and the wind. And remaining 15 you can bifurcate again, that 10 gigawatt from the biopower and 5 gigawatt from the small hydro power. So this is the bifurcation installation of the 175 gigawatt. And guys, remember there is another target that Indian government aims to achieve 40 gigawatt renewable energy capacity by the year of 2022 through the installation of the rooftop solar project. So it is only for the rooftop solar projects. So you have to remember three targets like 175 gigawatt by the year of 2022, 450 gigawatt by the year of 2030, and 40 gigawatt specially for the rooftop solar powers by the year of 2022. So this is very important, and two organization is helping India, like they are providing USD 41 million, like it is a loan type agreement between India and this organization, and the organization is USAID, and second organization here is the United States Agency for International Development. It means we are talking about the DFC. It means answer of this question is both A and B. So you can see here DFC and USAID announced USD 41 million financing for the renewable energy in India. You can also see here it is joint loan portfolio guarantee program for financing investment in the renewable energy solution, so that India can achieve the renewable energy targets, including the rooftop solar installation by India's small and medium sized enterprises. So it is very important because at present SMEs account for 48% of total energy consumed in India in the industrial sector. So it means if they can use this new and renewable energy, then the burden of the secondary sector can be reduced. It will benefit the small and medium industries and residential consumer for securing the finances needing for the installation and using rooftop panels, because the cost is so much high of these solar power. So that's why the SMEs and residential consumers can take a loan, or you can say that take finance from these organizations to install and use this rooftop solar panels. And the government aims to achieve 40 gigawatt renewable energy capacity by the 2022 through the installation of rooftop solar projects. So here are the two organizations which are important. One is the USAID, that is United States Agency for International Development, and where is the headquarters? That is in Washington DC. And next is the United States International Development Finance Corporation, or you can say the DFC. Its headquarters is also in Washington DC, and they are providing loan to India for renewable energy targets. Now we are moving to next question. Confederation of All India Traders launched a vendor onboarding mobile application for its upcoming e-commerce portal. What is the name of this portal? And it is very important for India because on this portal, any salesperson, any type of the Kirana store person, or any type of the shop owner can open e-shop on this platform, and it is free of cost. You can register on this online portal and you can sell your goods. It means your income can be increased by this e-commerce portal, because if you are talking about the another e-commerce portals, they are charging so much money, they are charging the commission, but it is free of cost, and this portal is not charging any type of the commission. So that's why it is very important, and it is only for the Indians. So it is again a good news for the Indian manufacturers or the Indian shopkeepers. And this portal named as Bharat E-Market. So answer should be B. So you can see here, this application allows businesses and services provided to register on the portal and create their own e-dukan or an online shopping store. It means you can open your account on this platform. There will be no charge for creating an e-dukan or the any type of the account, nor any commission on the business done on this portal, because other type of the e-portals are taking some amount of money if you are registering on this on their portal. Bharat E-Market has been developing within the motive to supporting e-commerce traders so that their income can be enhanced, and then there is no commission, so it is free of cost. So no foreign investment in the portal will be accepted. It means it is only open for Indian market. So it is very important to improve the domestic income of India and to improve the domestic growth of India. So guys, remember the name of the portal is Bharat E-Market. So this is very important question. Now we are moving to next question. Which company partnered with Microsoft, Amazon Web Services and Google to develop a cloud-based 5G radio solution? Yesterday we covered a question that India and Finland tied up for the 5G and the 6G technology. It means India and Finland will do research and development in the 5G and the 6G network. And now we are talking about one Finnish company, or you can say the Finland company, and that company named as the Nokia. It means Nokia partnered with the Microsoft, Amazon Web Services, and Google to develop a cloud-based 5G radio solution. So this question is very important, but you have to cover this question as in the slide. Nothing more important under this question. So you can see here, this is the Finnish telecom manufacturer Nokia announced the partnership with Microsoft, Amazon Web Services, and Google to develop a new cloud-based 5G radio solution with Nokia's radio access network technology. So just remember the question as in the slide. Nothing more important under this question. Now we are moving to next question. International Air Transport Association has partnered with which bank for providing easy pay services to the travel agents in India? So the most important thing under this question is the payment method, that is the easy pay. Remember this. And the organization International Air Transport Association. And this organization started a pay services that is known as the easy pay services for the travel agents with the tie-up of a one bank, and this bank is Standard Chartered Bank. So remember this, it is a Standard Chartered Bank and the organization named as International Air Transport Association to provide a pay as you go service to travel agents that replaces the traditional billing and settlement system. It means now the travel agents can pay through this easy pay option from the Standard Chartered Bank. So it will provide greater payment flexibility to the travel agents. So that is very true. And easy pay is a pay as you go service which aims to replace the traditional billing and settlement plan payments method like cash or the credit card. Now they can pay through the easy pay method, and it will be very convenient for the travel agents. So its main aim to increase the digitalization of payments and is expected to boost the cash flows for the aviation industry and the travel agents. And Standard Chartered Bank will be one of the International Air Transport Association's easy pay service providers in India. It will be available to all International Air Transport Association agents in India. It means it is only available to the registered travel agents under the International Air Transport Association. So guys, remember, International Air Transport Association easy pay is a new payment method which adds streamlined payment flows within the aviation ecosystem, and it was launched in 2018, but it was with the Yes Bank. Now it was with the Standard Chartered Bank. And guys, remember, International Air Transport Association headquarters in Montreal, Canada, and how many airlines are member? 295 airlines are member of this organization. And guys, recently you have to remember about Standard Chartered Bank. One thing, that is IIFL Home Finance, IIFL Home Finance and Standard Chartered Bank entered into a co-lending agreement to extend credit to the MSME loan. Because of the COVID-19, MSME sector is so much distressed. That's why to raise the loan amount and to raise the growth of the MSMEs, IIFL Home Finance and Standard Chartered entered into a co-lending agreement to extend credit to the MSME loans. So now we are moving to the next question. Which bank set up a Cards and Services Limited, a subsidiary to manage credit card business? It means this bank established a new subsidiary just to manage the credit card business, and this bank is Punjab National Bank. So it is very simple question. You can just remember the question as in the slide. PNB set up a subsidiary to manage credit card business, and this subsidiary is known as PNB Cards and Services Limited. And guys, you can see here, it is to provide the non-financial support services related to the credit and credit card business of the bank. And largest credit card issuer is HDFC Bank, you can remember, and second largest is the SBI. And recently, Punjab National Bank developed and launched PNB Lens, the lending solution, an information technology based lending solution for loan management, and it is based on the artificial intelligence program. So it is the lending solution which is launched by the Punjab National Bank. And who is the MD and CEO of the Punjab National Bank? That is SS Mallikarjun Rao. Tagline is the name you can bank upon. So tagline is most important, the name you can bank upon. And this bank was basically founded in 1894. And it started in 1895 and its headquarters in New Delhi. So guys, remember the things I told you. Now we are moving to the next question. Jammu and Kashmir government approved to establish Ratel Hydroelectric Power Corporation to develop 850 megawatt hydroelectric power on which river? So the examiner can ask about the Ratel Hydro project, that it is situated in which state or the UT, then you have to answer about the Jammu and Kashmir. But if the examiner is talking about the river, then you have to remember the river name is Chenab, and this river is starting from the Himachal Pradesh and its originating source is Bara Lachla Pass in the Himachal Pradesh. two rivers are basically confluencing, like one is the Chandar, second is the Baga. So two rivers when joining and it become the Chandar Baga, and Chandar Baga is also known as the Chenab. So Chenab is the another name of the river Chandrabhaga, and Chandrabhaga formed by the joining of two rivers. One is known as the Chandar, second is the Baga. And after starting from the Himachal Pradesh, it then goes to the Jammu and Kashmir. After that, it goes to the Pakistan and drain into the Arabian Sea. But before draining, it confluence with the Indus River. So guys, remember, Chenab is the largest tributary of the Indus. Longest tributary of Indus is Satluj, but largest tributary is the Chenab. So many things about Chenab you can remember. So Jammu and Kashmir, Ratel hydroelectric power project, and it is a 850 megawatt hydroelectric project, and it is on the Chenab river. So you can see here the joint venture is basically 1600 crore rupees with initial paid up capital is 100 crore, and it is a project between so many agencies like Jammu and Kashmir government and Jammu and Kashmir Power Development Corporation Limited, NHPC, on the 3rd January 2021. So just remember the name of the state, the capacity of this hydroelectric power project, and the name of the river. These three things are very important. Now we are moving to next question, but before that you can also recall about the Jammu and Kashmir. Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant Governor or Lieutenant Governor is Manoj Sinha. Remember, Manoj Sinha. And there is very important national park is the Dachigam National Park. Now we are moving to the next section. It is the important question section. Here is the question. So the question is, which country will record largest increase in child and maternal deaths in South Asia in 2020 due to COVID, according to the UNICEF report? So a report released by the UNICEF organization, and this report is related to the maximum or the largest increase in the child and maternal death in the South Asia, and it is due to the COVID-19. And name of this report is Direct and Indirect Effect of COVID-19 Pandemic and Response in the South Asia. And it considers 6 South Asian countries. One is Afghanistan, second is Bangladesh, third is India, next is Nepal, Pakistan, and the Sri Lanka. So guys, remember, it is Afghanistan, Bangladesh, India, Nepal, Pakistan, and the Sri Lanka. And out of these 6 countries, the largest increase in the child and maternal deaths in South Asia in 2020 due to COVID-19 is India. And the increase is 15% in the child death under age 5, and maternal death or the mother deaths increased by 18%. And it is from the South Asian countries comparing to these 6 countries. So India expected to record largest increase in the child and the maternal deaths in South Asia in 2020 amid COVID-19. That is the UNICEF report. And guys, remember about UNICEF. UNICEF headquarters is in the New York, United States of America, and executive director is Henrietta Fore. Remember this. But this report is prepared by the UNICEF with the help of WHO, that is World Health Organization, and United Nations Population Fund. And where is the headquarters of WHO? That is in Geneva. And who is the Director General? Tedros. And the United Nations Population Fund, its headquarters is in New York, and Executive Director is Dr. Natalia. So 3 organizations released this report, that is known as the Direct and Indirect Effects of COVID-19 Pandemic Response in the South Asia. And India deaths are largest increase, like 15% children under the age of 5, and maternal deaths by the 18%. Remember this. So now we are moving to the next question. It is the Ordnance Factory Day is annually observed by the Ordnance Factory Board on which day? So the most important thing under this question is the Ordnance Factory Board. So its headquarters is in the West Bengal. Don't remember about the date that when it was established, but remember the headquarters of Ordnance Factory Board, that is in West Bengal. And guys, remember, first Ordnance Factory was established in 1801 on the 18th of March. So that's why it is celebrated on the 18th of March. So first Ordnance Factory was established in Calcutta in 1801, and this day is celebrated by the Indian Ordnance Factories under the Ministry of Defense. And this day marks the 220th Ordnance Factory Day. So guys, remember, the Indian Ordnance Factory is just to increase the economic interest and political hold in India, and the East India Company of England considered the manufacturing of the military hardware. So that's why they established this Ordnance Factory in Calcutta. So before the independence of India, like before 1947, there were only 18 ordnance factories in India, 18 ordnance factories. But now 41 ordnance factories are there. So you can remember by the Ordnance Factory Day. Now we can move to the next section, that is the Ordnance Factory Day, 18th of March 2021. You can remember from here. And next question is, what is the theme of Global Recycling Day, which is annually observed across the globe on the 18th March? This is again very important day, because this day promotes the importance of recycling across the globe, so that we can make the environment healthy. So it is also celebrated on the 18th of March, and the theme is recycling heroes. So remember about the theme, remember about the day, that is the 18th of March. And first ever global recycling day was observed in 2018. It means it is the fourth Global Recycling Day. So you can see the picture, Global Recycling Day, 18th of March 2021. Theme is recycling heroes. Now we can move to the one-liner important points. And first is the around 736 million, almost 1 in the 3 women across the globe faced physical and the sexual violence, and it is by the WHO report. So it is one of the most important report which is published by the WHO. It is also known as the Violence Against Women Prevalence Estimate 2018. And the report was based on the WHO largest study on the prevalence of the violence against the women. And according to this report, all over globe, out of 3, 1 woman faced physical and the sexual violence, and this is very sudden report by the WHO. So guys, remember about WHO headquarters in Geneva, Director General is Tedros. We already covered this point. Next, General Bipin Rawat released a new book, Battle Ready for 21st Century. So by the name you can guess that this book belongs to like methods to strategically manage border conflict in future in all possible fronts like land, air, water, cyber, or any domain to the avoid war. And this book is very important if we are talking about the future of the Indian Army in any fronts like land, air, water, and the cyber. And it is released by the General Bipin Rawat. It is not so much important that who wrote this book. This book is co-edited by the Lieutenant General A.K. Singh and one of the Brigadier Narendra Kumar. So remember Narendra Kumar and the A.K. Singh, but it is not so much important. Just remember the book name. Next, Tanzania President John Magufuli passed away at the age of 61. And guys, remember, John Magufuli was the first president of Tanzania to die while holding office. And the recently first female vice president of Tanzania is set to become the first female president of Tanzania, because vice president will be promoted to the president, and vice president currently is Samia Hassan. So she will become the first woman president of the Tanzania. So we will cover in the next days. Next is the full and guys, remember about the Tanzania. Tanzania's capital is Dodoma, Dodoma, and currency is Tanzanian shilling. Now, next book is The Full Spectrum, India Wars from 1972 to 2020, a book authored by the Arjun Subramaniam. Don't remember the name of the book. It is not so much important, but you can cover just under the one-liner, or you can read this news. Like, book named is Full Spectrum, India Wars from 1972 to 2020. And this book is written by the Arjun Subramaniam, who is retired Air Vice Marshal. So that's why you can just read this news, because it is authored by the one of the retired Air Vice Marshal. The book is basically covering the success and the failures of Indian armed forces in the post 1971 period, because earlier this person like Arjun Subramaniam released his first book, Indian Wars, a military history from 1947 to 1971. It means in the first part he covered from 1947 to 1971. In the second part he is covering from 1972 to 2020. Next is Rawalpindi's KRL Stadium renamed after the Shoaib Akhtar. So again, this is a important news, but it is under the international event, and you can just remember the one point as written in the slide. Rawalpindi's KRL Stadium renamed as the Shoaib Akhtar Stadium. Next, CRAS begins delivery of medium-range surface-to-air missile kits to Indian Armed Forces. So guys, you can remember, CRAS is basically a joint venture between the India and Israel firm that is known as the Kalyani Rafael Advanced System, and they are delivering this medium range surface to air missile to the Indian Armed Forces. And what is the name of this medium range surface to air missile? This is known as the Barak 8. So remember Barak 8 or the Barak 8. You can also remember by the name of the Barack Obama, and it is a surface to air missile, and it is developed by the DRDO and the Bharat Dynamics Limited. and you can also remember about the DRDO headquarters in New Delhi, and who is the head? G Satish Reddy. Now we are moving to the question of the 18th of March 2021. What was the question? Which institution has the final authority to interpret the Constitution of India? And guys, it is a most important question, and it was asked in so many exams. So answer of this question is the Supreme Court of India. Answer is Supreme Court of India. Like I am giving you an example. If we want to remove the president, then only in case of the violation of the constitution, but the meaning of the violation of constitution is not clear and not given in the Indian constitution. So Supreme Court of India has the final authority to interpret this violation of the constitution. So that's why the final authority goes to the Supreme Court of India. So remember this question. Now we are moving to the question of the day, and it is very simple. Polio is caused by. So very simple question, and it was asked in 2016 and 19 as well. So guys, only comment this answer in the comment box, and guys, please provide 700 plus likes. Please subscribe our channel and press this bell button so that you can receive the very important notifications. And it is Affairs Cloud promise that it will boost your confidence in the general awareness section if you're reading the PDFs regularly, and if you are watching these current affairs in the video, then your current affairs section will definitely go strong. And you can subscribe our current affairs. You can subscribe our current affairs at very, very minimal cost. You have to download our application, that is Careers Cloud, and you can use this code ASH10. Then you will get 10% discount on the minimal price. And guys, thank you for watching this video, and don't take life so much serious. Life is fun, life is beautiful. Always be happy, because happiness is the key of success. Thank you guys again, and take care. Bye bye.